Hey guys, it's me, your new favorite YouTuber who you love a lot. Yes, yes. Today we're gonna be reacting to how I got pregnant in elementary school. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Bye.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and I got pregnant when I was still in elementary school. I grew up in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
really small island. We had few neighbors, and children didn't get to go to public school. To study, I would have to travel many miles every day, and my parents couldn't afford it. My mom and dad wanted a better future for me, and they began saving up every penny they earned. It
Why
was
would
a
they take a
hard
band? Click
time
like
because
that.
we had
Click
little
like
to
a like
eat,
button
and my
according to
parents
how
worked
they
almost
start.
all day long. I
Weird.
had to help out a lot around the house, even if I was really young. I can't thank my parents enough for everything they did for me, and I know I disappointed them by getting pregnant when I was
You know,
so young. I
don't
hope
get
I can make
pregnant
it
when
up to
you're
them
in
and
elementary
repay
school.
them for all their effort and love. When I was 9 years old, they managed to save up enough money to move to America. I knew a little English, but it was
Okay, a little
hard starting from
perspective. They're
scratch.
9 years.
I
She's
had a
nine
lot
years
to
old, going
learn,
to
and I
America.
had never gone to school
That's
at
all I'm
all
saying.
before arriving to the USA. Everything was new to me. Growing up in such a small island, I wasn't used to the busy streets or being surrounded
No
by lots
school.
of people.
No
I
school
wasn't
for
used to the
us.
fast paced life of the city either. It was all so foreign and odd to me. What was worse, I was older than my classmates when my mom and dad finally managed to get me enrolled in a public school. I was really eager to learn, though, so I studied hard and paid attention to my teachers. I did my homework
Okay.
every evening and practiced speaking and writing in English. Dad worked two jobs, and that allowed
Studying
mom
on
to
a
take care of me when
computer
I wasn't at
in
school.
elementary
That was
school.
also a big change because they usually didn't have
Okay.
enough time to be around me
Her dad
often.
has two
I
jobs.
was really
Okay.
happy about this. I was a kid and really needed my mom to be by my side. She helped me with my homework and motivated me to be responsible. I became a great student, and my teachers considered allowing me to skip a grade. Since I didn't have any previous education, they decided against
She
it,
clearly
even if it
didn't
meant I
motivate
was
you
older than my
enough.
classmates, and I showed promise. Perhaps, they told me, I would be able to skip a grade or two when I reached high school.
Okay.
Sixth grade arrived, and everything was going well. My parents had both managed to get far better jobs. Dad was able to be home every night, and we were living in a
Okay,
nice
sixth
apartment
grade.
in a better neighborhood. My life was a lot better than it had ever been at the island. I had friends, I was
So
studying,
she's
we
like
lived
10 or
in a
11
nice
right now.
place. Mom and Dad could actually spend time with me, and we even had enough money to afford nicer clothes and furniture. We were not rich or anything of the sort, but it was more than enough for us. That was when I met this really nice guy named Brad. I fell in love with him
Middle
immediately. My
class.
parents allowed us to date because it seemed like it was so innocent. After all, we were both still so
Brad.
young. We spent a lot of time together. It was
Why
so
does
much
Brad
fun,
and her
and I
dad.
loved
Brad is
kissing
secretly
him.
her brother?
We were
Because
foolish and really young.
unless everyone
One
in this
night, while
story
my
has the
mom
same
was
haircut.
working
Oh
overtime, we
my
stayed home
gosh.
alone. We began having too much fun, and one thing led to another. At first, I didn't notice anything was different. A few weeks passed by, and I began getting sick in the mornings. Mom got concerned, but since I felt better after a while, she brushed it
One
off as the
thing led
flu.
to
I
another.
didn't want her to be concerned, so I
Because
pretended I
parents would
didn't
let their
feel
kids
queasy
stay.
most mornings. I kept
Because
going to
parents
school
would
and
let their
studying
kids
as
stay home
normal,
alone
but things
with
kept
a
getting
little boy.
weird. My
Who
stomach
they
began
had a couple
swelling up,
girls.
and by then
Not
I
really.
knew that something was wrong. I talked to Brad first, and we figured out I was pregnant. I
She pregnant.
completely
She
freaked
pregnant.
out
Okay,
and
she
didn't
gotta be
want to tell my
pregnant. Why would she
parents
be
anything
pregnant?
about it, but there wasn't anything else I could do.
Say
That
that they're
night, I blurted the
pregnant.
news out in the middle of dinner. I was too
Now she's
upset to
lying
try
to her
and calmly
parents.
explain it to them. My parents were incredibly mad. They scolded me for hours and couldn't believe I could have gotten
What are
pregnant
they
since I
eating?
was
Pizza?
so young. They took
All
me
of
to
them
the
get
doctor
one
and
full
wanted to
box of
confirm
pizza,
if it
bro.
was
They must
true.
be hungry.
After a quick
Hungry
ecography
people.
and a blood
All
test,
of them.
it was
Yeah.
confirmed. I was
Okay.
expecting a baby. The doctor told them I was over 4 months pregnant, so there was no other
Mm-hmm.
choice but to keep the baby. When we got back to our home, my mom and dad started arguing. Dad said I was ruining my
So
life, and mom
I'm
said
gonna
that they
make an
needed to support me.
SMS say that
I was
her
their
she
daughter,
was
and
lying for
even
like
if I
few
had messed
minutes,
up, they couldn't turn their back on me. They called Brad's parents, and the
and now
four
her
of them
parents
met
even
up.
argue
Brad and I were terrified, and all the adults were furious.
because you are.
They explained that they would support
Guys could
us,
still
but that
support
the
her, but
baby
she
would
did
be
ruin her
our
life.
responsibility. We would have to
Way
keep
more than
studying,
yesterday.
and when we arrived home from school, we'd take care
Yeah.
of our son or daughter. We agreed immediately, of course, not only because it was the right thing to do, but
Like,
because we
why
were both
does Brad's
terrified of our
mom look like
parents'
that would be her
anger.
mom?
I continued studying all through my pregnancy. I was very lucky since both my parents and Brad's mom and dad
Yeah,
really
gotta
were
take
there
care of
for
the
us
child.
every
You don't want
step
it
of
to
the way.
die.
Against all odds, Brad and I continued dating all through high school. When we graduated, we moved in together with our daughter, Lucy. We have a great relationship and get along so well with all four of my daughter's grandparents. We are a happy family and are doing great. We both have good jobs and plan on having more children in a few years. Sometimes people think that I'm Lucy's sister instead of her mom, but we don't mind. We worked really
Okay.
hard to raise her well, and we will continue to try and give her the best life possible. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on the channel.
Lucy's sister, because you had her in 6th grade, so she's like around in high school by now, I'd probably say, or in college. Lucy looks like her sister, so Lucy's a few years younger than her. Okay. That's the end of the video, and since it was kind of short, I'll throw in a skit that I made, and yeah, well, so yeah, that's me done reacting to the video. Now you guys I'll edit in the skit I'm about to make. So what would happen if that was a black family and not a white family? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.